That goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the DENDAO meeting. We are live on Den.Social. Hello, Joe. Welcome.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay? I can hear you fine.
Yes.
Maybe there's
Perfect.
a little delay. Thanks for joining us at the DENDAO meeting. And again, welcome everybody here to the DENDAO. I am your emperor of the DENDAO, duly elected unopposed, by unanimous vote. I am a bona fide emperor of the DENDAO, which is also Den.Social. And I'm the self-proclaimed emperor of all social media. How's that? Well, this is the first DENDAO meeting of the year with your elected emperor, I am for I am. We're honored to have Joe, the founder of Dragon Chain, and Joe, also the founder of Den.Social, joining us for the meeting. This is a meeting. It's a live meeting. You're welcome to participate. We will bring you on board. You don't have to have your camera on. That is optional. Or you can still post while the meeting is going on in the DENDAO layer under the DENDAO meeting post. And we will look at any kind of questions that are posted there during the open forum segment, which will be at the conclusion of the meeting. There is a meeting agenda set. It's in the DENDAO, and I am going to see if we can't present that to you. Joe, is there anything you'd like to mention or add before we start the agenda?
Nope, just to visit that discussion about the tags. Otherwise, straight away.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go into that. Let me get my screen open here and shared. My apologies, didn't have this quite ready. There it is. And bring that up to the stage. And there it is. This is the DENDAO meeting. I'm going to zoom in here. So again, I have complete transparency. I do not mind sharing my matter totals, my vote totals. I believe in transparency for all leaders. So there it is. And not all my matter is in the smart contract. Some of it is sitting out there. So here you go. DENDAO meeting agenda, the current LCP cycle where we're at. The cycle, which is at the end of the month, where next will the layers that win in the LCP process will be created. Number one in the lower category was China, so it will be created. Welcome, China layer. And by unique vote, the motivational quotes layer came in. I'm excited about that one as well. So that is our LCP segment. Moving on is on our agenda is governance. I'm encouraging everyone to go to the governance tab on the right and click on the DIN logo here. You'll see the site-wide votes, and if you voted or not voted, have they been resolved, etc. You can click on the additional icons up here at the top left and go into specific. But remember, denizens, this is important for you to have a say. You don't have a say on Reddit, on Meta, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, on X. You don't have a say on how those platforms progress or change their environments. You do here at Den.Social. So as denizens, I strongly urge you to vote, including voting on your own layers proposals like avatars, icon, descriptives, or reputational votes. Moving on our agenda, we also have, let me switch here to this one. Did I freeze? I think I may have froze. There it goes, a little slow. State of the Union. I am not going to read the State of the Union. I'm just going to kind of jump through it real quick. Joe, did you have something to mention?
Nope, it's all good.
I thought it was you. The State of the Union, I was asked provide the 5-year plan for Den.Social. And my quick response was basically a 5-year roadmap for Den is challenging, especially in the current stage and current status that we're in. We're kind of in a pause or holding pattern, if you will. And I talk about this in somewhat in great length. Our current status, as many of you know, and if those who don't or watch this later, we are still in a live beta stage of development. New enhancements, whatever, however you want to say, those are on hold. It's in a pause. Dragon Chain, which Den.Social is built on, is currently an ongoing lawsuit with the SEC, and funding for developments, enhancements right now have been allocated in that direction. Having said that, major bug fixes of that nature, will be worked on. They just may not be as quick for resolution as we'd like to see. But as a community, it's up to all of us as denizens to post regularly, upvote, downvote, tag, as well as reply to be an active denizen. And that is also means, voting in your DENDAO and layers. Funding and development is an ongoing discussion. It's needed for enhancements. I'm encouraging you to come into this post and take a look at what I've posted here, as well as it. DEN's success is heavily weighted upon you, my fellow denizens, and not just I as your leader, your elected leader at this time. That it is heavily upon all of us to spread the word of DEN, and its growth will also enhance or create more opportunities for funding. And last but not least, I would like to mention that our short-term stability is above all most important, which is kind of like if you're a radio channel or something, staying on air, or a television show, staying on air. We need short-term stability. Short-term stability comes with denizen growth, denizens posting, and I'm encouraging you to post in layers that maybe you're not more comfortable in. Maybe you post all the time in the photographic layer or photography layer or astronomy layer. Well, reach out, maybe post something in the random layer, or reach out and post something in the, I'm just picking names, Japan layer or something of that nature. So when someone's coming to Den to investigate what is Den.Social, they'll see activity in all the layers. That's really important, because what may not be so important to you, just by posting a simple paragraph about something that's related to that layer is good for people to see active movement on Den.Social. That's how we're going to grow this thing, and that's how we're going to stay stable. I'm not going to go again on to everything, but I want to just finish up real quick and state that I am very appreciative of everyone who has voted for me and believe in my leadership and ability to make Den.Social a better place and a better alternative to other social media, platforms out there, as well as your confidence and trust in me to do the right thing as an ambassador, shall we say, to Den. Now, it's interesting. The Emperor thing is somewhat of a marketing stunt, but it's kind of ironic too, because a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, having an emperor, I think it's a fertile soil for us to plant seeds and grow and make humor and laughter out of it and bring attention to Den, as well as present how DAOs are important in humanity's future, as well as DAO leaders, if you will, and kind of defining that role. So I am truly grateful and humbled to be here. So, having said that about the State of the Union, real quick, Joe, do you have any comments there?
No, I mean it's
Otherwise, we shall move.
I agree with everything you say, and I know some of the things that we're looking at might be a way that would actually bring in the funds and bring in the resources that we need to really build this out the way that it is planned to be built out. So we're on the way. All right.
Yeah, and I think I touched on that in here briefly, that we're looking at alternative sources and enhancements to be funded
Right.
outside of DEN and brought into
Right.
DEN, because we have something to offer, they have something to offer. We can come to some kind
Right.
of agreement and and grow this thing.
Right. And very,
That's another
promising
thing I
things.
mentioned on the in the.
So,
Sure, absolutely, definitely. That's another thing I wanted to mention. I think I briefly touched on it. If I didn't believe in Den.Social, I'm a retired dude. I can spend my time with the granddaughter and do other things and whatever, travel, etc., whatever. But I like Den. I like what Den has to offer. I want it to be part of my legacy and make it into something that I see its potential in. And had I not believed in that, this is a position that's completely voluntary. I'm not taking any penny, nothing of any kind of payment. This is voluntary. Um, I believe that Den.Social has such amazing potential. Um, and had I not believed that, I wouldn't have put my name in the hat for this role. So there we go. Let's move on the agenda is tagging, inappropriate tagging. Again, I'm not going to read this whole post, but basically it has to do with inappropriate tagging of the smart tags. We like to call them smart tags because they're powerful. They essentially take one vote to change a post to blurred, so the text or image is blurred, being if it were abusive in nature, not safe for work, or spam. And and this has been kind of an ongoing problem, but it really reared its ugly head Monday, I want to say, Sunday. Um, Someone went in and was just hitting all of the posts, including replies, as abusive or spam or not safe for work, and blurred practically the entire site. And jokes were made that Den, the blurred social media content, site, and things of this nature. So it has come to attention. It's been an ongoing frustration for many of us, including myself. And I asked for denizens to post potential suggestions on how we can solve this. And I recapped it or summarized the tagging problem and summarized their solutions. These I'm going to go through real quickly. I'm not going to comment on any of them. And then we're going to jump into some other solutions. And Joe, you're going to be really helpful here. Requiring consensus before tag blurs and text and image. Requiring multiple users to tag before auto blurring of text and image. Number 3 was penalize users that incorrectly tags content. No reward for a day, week, month. Frequent bad tagging suspends user for X amount of days. Users warned and then possibly banned from the site. Number 4 was requiring the tag to post a reason why they're tagging the site. The post is abusive, not safe for work, or spam. Therefore, it's not done with anonymity. We would know who it's doing it. And even if they just put garbage in as an answer, at least we would know who is doing it. User who is incorrectly posting tags can no longer do this anonymously. That was just a separate solution as proposed or suggested. Number 6, a higher penalty for bad tagging, higher rewards for those who vote to overturn an incorrect tag that's a smart tag. Delete these powerful site-wide tags has been suggested by some. More energy or a lot of energy to be used to be able required to be able to use these smart tags. Other solutions, I asked for other people to post their solutions. I'm going to come down here. There's these right here, cry wolf. Joe, you and I talked about this. The idea being that someone who cries wolf frequently and incorrectly, they no longer have the ability to tag anymore, use these smart tags because they cried wolf too many times. Kind of a reputational score or hit to their profile. Make it quick and easy to overturn them was another suggestion by a denizen. So these are all great suggestions by denizens. I'm grateful that people took because they're angered by this incorrect tagging, and they took a position to complain post. Some of them were frustrated, said that they were going to post less frequently. That was the worst case scenario. I fear that some denizens might be leaving the platform because of that. If you watch this, I'm asking you to reconsider that. Um, um, we will be taking care of this issue. It will be a DENDAO vote, and it is serious. It is extremely frustrating, and it was for me Monday because I was going to actually demo Den.Social to a friend, and I was going to go through it with him, and that was I had planned that for Monday afternoon, and I was extremely frustrated when guess what? I opened up Den and everything was blurred, or probably 80% of everything that was posted or replied was blurred on Monday afternoon, and I just couldn't present the platform to this friend who also has influence. So that hurts and it's frustrating. And so it wasn't just frustrating for me as an investor, as a user, as your emperor. It was frustrating for everybody, and I can understand your frustrations. I share it. So there you have the situation, proposed ideas or discussion on what we can do. Joe, what's your thoughts?
There being a lot of those were good ideas. Some of them were ideas that I hadn't even thought of originally. So some good stuff. So I guess the thing to consider is there's going to be an ideal solution, and then there's going to be a good enough solution, right? And
Right.
So if you go through all of those, the interesting point is, let's say that one of the smart tags, which can have an effect on the visualization of the content, if they cost more. I mean, that's a pretty lightweight one. I don't know how directly easy it would be because all the tags right now are they follow generally the same voting logic. So whether or not that's possible, or I know it's possible, but whether or not it's an easy task to build in, I don't know. But that's not a bad one, right? Still, it wouldn't likely keep people from doing it. The other one would be that might be simple, depending, would be that any of the smart tags that were essentially placed would show who originally voted on that tag. Because when you add a tag, it isn't there before. So when once a tag is there, you can vote it down or you can vote it up. But whoever adds the tag first is the culprit, right? So we could say, look, you're going to put this in, and because it is of this nature, it won't be anonymous, the tag. So, everyone in the layer would know that that account was the one who added the false tag, and they can vote to ban that person from the layer, right? That's a very reasonable way to do it. I'd have to think about how easy it will be to show. I would assume something like a hover or something. If you hovered over the tag, maybe it would show you who it was that originally added it.
Right.
That's not outlandish. That would be a pretty decent solution. Although it wouldn't be immediate because that person could wreak havoc until you get your vote through, right? So it's not ideal. I think I generally prefer the crying wolf model, where and I don't know whether we would apply it to all tags, because other tags have similar issues with people spamming inappropriate tags, right? But either way, for certain on the smart tags, that we would have to figure out how many times before we say, okay, this person has cried wolf. Does the story, the crying wolf story, does he do it 3 times? I don't remember.
I think he
And the
does.
4th
In
time
Fairy
the
Tale
wolf
3+.
comes. Is the 3rd time when the wolf comes,
Yeah.
or is the 4th time when the wolf? I can't remember. Well, whatever that is, that's probably
It was
that's
baseball
probably
3.
yeah. And it would be essentially that if you mark one of these tags, and it turns out that the consensus was against what you had marked, that essentially you would lose all ability to have any effect on the tagging system. You wouldn't get any rewards. I don't know if, depending upon the implementation, you might still be able to add tags, but they essentially would be counted for nothing.
Right.
But it might just be that once you and I would say for the smart tags especially, once you get into a boy cried wolf scenario, that you wouldn't be able to tag anything anyway, right? That it would just be
Right.
totally disabled for you. That'd be probably ideal. On some of the other pieces, we did have what was a pretty decent balance for the early consensus on a tag. Like, say, if I remember correctly, that if someone tags something, I almost am certain, though it might require a third vote, but I'm almost certain that a 50% won't trigger the smart action. I'd have to look at the code to remember where we left that, but it was almost like someone comes in and they tag something as not safe for work, so it gets blurred. Now a second person says that's not true, so they reverse that tag, and it should, I believe, at that point it would show up. The problem is, and what we might find, because this happened in the past, is that it wasn't just one person that was doing this thing. That it was a group of
exactly
people.
What I was going to say.
Yeah.
So it appears to be at least more than one.
And so we might even do something on
a
group.
We were seeing them go gray and then go red.
Yeah, and it could maybe if it's let's say it was 3 times cried wolf and you're out, so it's 3 strikes. You could potentially say everybody on the platform has 100%, and if this hasn't happened to you, then it's not an issue. But for every one you miss, your weighting drops by 33%. And the reason I even say that is because we could possibly do something so that, let's say there is a tag, a smart tag that we all know to be wrong, and somebody did it as a just messing around with people or something. And let's say that there were 4 of them that did it. Whoever initiated it would lose 33%, 3 strikes. The other people would lose half that, right? So all of the other people who voted that this thing is abuse, so they voted positive on the abuse tag, but the consensus is heavily it's not abuse, that they would all lose half of that, of the weight as if they were the initiator. And that would keep people from saying, hey, I'm not going to vote on something just because it's funny, or vote on a tag just to harass somebody, because you're going to lose something out of that. And I would imagine that we'll have to have something in the middle for the situations where it really is a legitimate disagreement. It isn't somebody playing around. You get somewhere near 50-50 and it happens to go one way, that wouldn't count against you, right? It's I guess you would call it what's the word I want? I mean, it's like a controversial tag,
Right.
So that's how I would design it, and I think that'd be doable, and everything is there to do it, but it would require some work.
Yeah, 2 points, actually 3 points. First and foremost, what we're talking about and proposing here, I think at this stage of the game, if possible, if it's cheaper to do and easier, quicker to do, to specify these only on the smart tags rather than we have people that are basically spamming every entry with all the tags, thinking that they're probably earning something from it,
Right.
when it hasn't met consensus or whatever. But there are two individuals that said something that I didn't mention here, and I want to. One was Cap Chef, who said, "Yeah, it given our situation, our current status, we need to think in terms of what is easier to be done, cheaper, and we can come back and revisit that later." Is my thought. So it's a simple or quick and easy fix that will do it for now, with our limited funds for devs as bug fixes. Number two was Dayrox. I didn't mention Dayrox's point. Dayrox says, boy, it'd be nice if we had moderators, admin DIN people that would be able to come in and alter this and change it for whatever way. And that's how other platforms do. I disagree with him there in that I would like DIN to be completely automated in its algorithm. We the people as citizens make these choices, and it's our participation. That's what DIN's all about, rather than go heavily into costly, let's hire some people to do this. I don't want DIN's future to be go down that path. Certainly not yet. So.
Yeah, because something very interesting on that point is that DIN is from the community side. There's some administrative things that the creation of new layers, it could be automated, but we just haven't put the resources there. But you think about the moderation, there aren't any paid moderators on the entire site, right? And yet it functions. And of course you have hiccups like this, but imagine something like Reddit or Discord without moderator, right? Be quite different issues than what we're seeing. It's like, oh yeah, everything's blurred, and you can still see everything is blurred. It's just, and hopefully we'll try to help correct the tags as you click through stuff. But and that's just an attack. But without moderators, it's a very interesting thing. We had a project where people were telling us, oh, you guys need to set up a Discord, and Dracaria, in fact. And we're like, oh, okay. And they said, I can help you, and we get moderators, and you can, it was like there was cost after cost after cost, and all of these things that you have to do in order to maintain a friendly, normal server on Discord. And it was such a contrast from how DIN works, where the people do it themselves.
That's
and
just actually a selling point for DIN.
Yeah. So, it's interesting.
It's a selling point for DIN that I hope to investigate for new projects.
Yep. But same thing.
The DAO legitimately of a layer, but it can be self-policing. It's self-policing.
Yeah, exactly. And and legitimately, this subject being brought up is very very fitting. That is, we do need to solve these edge cases, and I think the
edge
the wolf crying and
great.
The wolf crying, and then a couple of these other ideas. I think if we could plug, in the ideal system, we plug those in, and it would take care of this pretty thoroughly. So, and it's an interesting thing too, because in the layers where maybe there are a lot of people who do this, that they would win the day, but it's like, so be it, that we will go to that layer, right? So, it's an interesting thing.
Well, the issue is I don't know what we can do right away to fix it, so we don't continue to have this problem. I don't want to lose the denizens we have, and I don't want to delete these tags. I know that
Yeah,
would
no.
probably
You
be
know,
simple.
what we can do.
Inactivate them.
We could vote. It would have to be a DENDAO vote. We could do a DENDAO vote. We'd have to figure out whether, who has the availability. It could be me. It could be Dave. It could be you. It could be one of the devs. That anytime that this is brought up, we could have a procedure where, we don't have to do any code at all, but we run it through a procedure where we say, hey, this is obviously a person or a group of accounts that is undertaking this attack, that we could expose them, because we can delve into the data and see who's doing this, and then we can say, oh, hey,
Public shame.
history layer, it's this person and this person and this person, and then they can decide to ban them, if they want.
Right.
So
yeah.
Yep.
You could contact them, via chat on the program, on the platform, and then and give them a warning. We've looked into it. We know who's doing it. It's got to stop. And as a warning, that's a simple, maybe cheaper way of doing it.
And there's the thing too. Without any code, we could do a blanket and say, okay, it's these 2, 3, 4 people, whatever, and they hit all these different layers, and maybe it's different groups and different layers, who knows. But it could also be something that, okay, here's the policy. If you are suspected of doing this, you'll get called out and you'll essentially get banned, and it would have to be, if you.
I lost you.
To Den to say, oh, I didn't understand, and I thought it was this. Yeah. Repeat
that last sentence. You would be called out, and then what? Because
I would do it in the opposite. I wouldn't say, hey, if we find out who it is, it's already going to take resources to do that. Find out who's doing it. That, on the one hand, the procedure could be let the layers decide. You can, but a lot of them might not be knowledgeable enough about it, or might not care enough about it, and they'll constantly get attacked. Or we could just say anyone found to have been, because it is in the terms, and there is, it's manipulation and stuff like that. That it could just be an automatic ban, site-wide, and that person would have to then, contact separately and make a case. Why did they misunderstand? Or, maybe someone told them to do something and they thought it was okay. Right. I'm not saying, but I just think if it were me, I would just say, if we find people doing it, that they are immediately banned, so, but that'd be a DENDAO vote. We'd have to all decide whether that's what we want. So.
Right. Yeah, it is, quite honestly, it is, it's an easy attack vector at this point in time, but it's an easy one to solve, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Well, easier than I originally thought, shall I say.
Right.
I will say this, that once I put up and talked about banning, it seemed to have stopped for the most part. So,
right.
I don't know.
Of course.
I don't know. Maybe there was some fear that went into there. But it was enough of us were frustrated on Monday that
well,
this is
if
ridiculous.
it happens again, in the very least, let's say it happened.
Click on everything.
Yeah, exactly. If it were to happen next week, for instance, let's just say, hey, we coordinate, we put up a vote, and we pull the data, and we, in the very least, expose whoever's doing it, and then we probably have a separate vote on whether they should automatically be banned when that's discovered.
Yep.
It's a DENDAO vote. It's all good. So, yep.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's worth maybe mentioning. I'll put up a DIN post in the DIN layer that the tagging issue, we will Now,
Yeah.
If it happens again on this mass scale like it did, we will go in and take a look at who's doing it. And
Yeah. Do we want to vote? You want to go ahead and put a vote up for
post.
it? Just say
Sure.
that if it happens, I mean, and we don't have to lay out here's exactly step by step exactly how we'll handle it. I think if we just say, look, if this happens again, it's going to initiate a process where we find out who it is, and then we vote. And when we vote on whether to ban them, it's also going to be on whether, you know, the rule is from now on, if this happens, we find out who it is, they get banned. That's it. Right.
Yep. I'll do that. With the assumption that future enhancements are going to be, we're going to do
Right.
something to what these have with Cry Wolf, or
Yes.
a combination
Synergy
thereof.
Plus, I do think exposing whoever puts in a smart tag, because, you know, if I were to mark something as spam, abusive, or NSFW, I would not mind having my name put on it. That, yeah, I think that this is whatever that is, right? So
exactly, I would be more than happy to put my name on something like that, saying I'm calling this out.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've talked this one out. And I will put up a proposal after the meeting that initiates.
There's one more.
You know, kind of a warning to initiate the process. Yes.
So one more potential option, and this is probably for future as well. It would probably make sense to measure a person's general tagging reputation. You know, it seems like when this person tags something, it's like they're almost batting 1,000. They almost always get the consensus when they tag something, right? We could do something where, until you attain a certain reputation on the tagging side for accuracy, that you can't initiate tags. We could make it a privilege of people who are,
I love it.
You know, because that way you'll actually get people to, I was like, I need to build up my reputation, so I will start voting on tags, which I might not otherwise.
That helps too for the new users that don't understand tagging and think, I should just tag everything on a post.
Right. Exactly. That's a pretty decent one that might not be as easy as the other, but still.
Reputation to tag. Okay.
Yeah.
I will post that as something so it's in here. We'll be able to search it up. All right. Next item in the DENDAO meeting is survey says it's wow. I think it's my machine.
You're cutting out. But that could be me. I'm on mobile. Apologies. I don't have my camera on or anything else.
TikTok.
I wasn't able.
It's TikTok. I hope I'm not breaking up too much.
Nope, you're good now. So, yep.
That's my internet. Okay, TikTok is. I'm going to put up a proposal that the Emperor is going to create a TikTok, a Red Note account. That account will be passed on to the next Emperor, and to the next Emperor, and to the next Emperor, and that as a social media site. So I think that's the way we should do it. You and I spoke about this offline at one point, and I'm agreeing to do that and sacrifice one of my phones to the red commies.
Oh boy. I don't know. I installed on my main phone. I'm not really too worried about that anymore. But think about what you're going to name it. If you can call it something like the Emperor or whatever.
Call it what?
Like, say, especially for Red Note, if you were to make it Emperor, and then in Chinese also put Emperor.
Well, I was trying to put it something to, or the Dao Emperor or something. Who knows?
Something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. it needs to be something that
Maybe not
a level
DENDAO
of like
Emperor.
the POTUS X account, right? Because that's generally how we're going to handle it,
Right.
right?
Right.
Where it
Right.
passed down. So it
I
needs
like
to
POTUS
be,
X account.
official title, official emperor, or I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, good. I'll come up with something, and something that's more POTUS or SCOTUS. What is it? Supreme
Yeah.
Court.
Yep. Yep.
That concludes the items of the meeting. Next is open forum. I just refreshed to see if we have any other replies. No, we don't, other than Cap Chef, who says, excited to see some changes made. Thumbs up. Appreciate you. Thank you, Cap Chef. And there we go. I think that probably concludes the meeting, unless, Joe, there's anything else you would like to add?
Not yet. I mean, we have things we're working on in the background that aren't announced yet, which might not come to pass, but hopefully they do. And things are looking up and forward, and it seems good. And
I'm excited.
By the way, I mean, the thing that everybody should know is that if it happens, it will all be preceded by DENDAO vote or votes to approve it. Absolutely. And the goal is to bring in revenue and to bring in users and adoption and everything else. So
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I'm excited. I'm excited for 2025 and for Den.Social. I really am. So
me too.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Joe, for joining us in the meeting. You have pleased your emperor.
That's all I aim for. Excellent.
Thank you so much. All right, let's see what we're going to go out with in our meeting here. Let's go ahead and play. Let's play Enter the Dragon.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.